For today's lesson, you're going to need your doc book and a pencil. You can open up to page 12. On page 12, there are letters under each picture that form part of a word that explains or tells about the picture. But if you notice, each word is missing an uppercase or a lowercase letter, and the shape of the blue box will help us decide which letter is missing. Look at the picture in the first box, and then look at the letters on the lines. Which letters do we see under this picture? A D and an O. Let's trace these two letters and make the sounds that they make as we trace them. D, ah. Now let's blend those sounds back together. Da. What word starts like da and tells about this picture? Da. Dog. Very good. What letter is missing from the end of dog? That's the lowercase letter G. And we know it's lowercase because it has to go all the way down here to fill up that blue box. Let's look at the next picture. We see Doc, and she has her thinking face on. She's deciding what to do with the dog that she got. What letters do we see under her picture? A D and an O. Let's trace them and make the sounds that they make. D, ah. Now let's blend those sounds back together. Da. What tells about the picture? What word tells about the picture and starts like da? Da. Who is this? Doc. It's Doc. Do we need an uppercase or a lowercase letter C? A lowercase. That's what fits in the box. Now we have the word Doc. Look at the last picture. This is the picture where Doc is all covered with paint. She's very strange looking, very different. What two letters do you see under her picture? Ah, oh, the letter O and the letter D. Let's make the sounds as we trace them. Ah, D. What word starts like odd and tells about the picture? Odd. Odd. This is odd. Wait a second. Odd. There's a letter missing, though. What letter could be missing if it already says odd? Yes, we need another lowercase d, because remember that rule? When you have two of the same letter together in a word, it only makes one sound. So this word is odd, because Doc is covered in paint. That's pretty odd. Now let's look at the pictures and the letters at the bottom of the page. At the bottom, you'll notice that the first letter or beginning sound is missing from each of the words. So let's look at the picture here of the dog with all of the spots. And what letters do we see underneath the picture? A D and a D. Let's make those sounds as we trace them. D, D. When we blend them together, do we say D, D? No, because there's two together. That means we only make the sound once. So it would sound like this. D. That's it. D. What tells about this picture and ends like D? This was the odd dog when Doc decorated it with all the paint and put a flag on the end. And so what is missing from the word odd? That's the lowercase letter O. Now it says odd. Odd. Look at the next picture. What are the letters underneath? An O and a G. Let's make the sounds as we trace them. Ah, g. Now let's blend those sounds back together. Ag, ag. What tells about the picture and ends like ag? This is a dog. So what letter is missing from the beginning of dog? That's a lowercase letter D because dog is not anybody's name. So we use a lowercase. A lowercase letter D is still tall though. Did you see that? Start at the yellow line, make a C shape, push all the way up to the pink and all the way back down to the chocolate. Start with the C to make a D. Now we have the word ag, dog. And the last picture, what letters do you see underneath? The letter O and the letter C. Let's make the sounds as we trace them. Ah, k. Now let's blend those sounds back together. Ak, ak. What tells about the picture that ends like ak? Who's in the picture? That's our friend Doc, and it's her name that we are writing. So what is missing from the beginning of her name, Doc? D-ak. An uppercase letter D. Because it's her name, she gets an uppercase letter. Now we're going to read and spell each word that we made in each of these boxes. Dog, D-O-G. Doc, D-O-C. Odd, O-D-D. Odd, O-D-D. Dog, D-O-G. Doc, D-O-C. All right, friends, we are on the last page of our doc book. Wow, how did we get through that so fast? Well, we're almost done with our book, but we do have her library book to read together and some practice pages left to do. So we're going to do this last page today, but we're not going to learn our new friend for a couple more days. On the back, we see this, or on this page, we see, it's actually page 13, we see a dog, and it's the dog that Doc decorated, and it looks very odd. So she calls it an odd dog. But this dog doesn't look like the one she decorated. In fact, it looks pretty much like a normal dog, don't you think? Up at the top, I see some words. Let's see if we can find out how many words there are. Do you notice that there is something right here? That's a finger space. A finger space separates words. So we have a word over here, that's one word, and we have a word over here, that's our second word. These are two words. These words are made up of a couple different letters. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 letters each. Let's trace the letters as we make the sounds. A, D. Odd, odd. There's that word, odd, strange, different. D, ag, dog, dog, odd, dog. So here is what is going to look like an odd dog. Your job is to decorate this odd dog with any kind of art supplies you have at home. You could use fuzz balls. You could use little pieces of paper to glue down on your dog. You could use stickers if you have stickers or different shapes. You can use your markers. You could use your crayons. You can use whatever you want to make this look like the oddest dog. And then please take a picture because I want to see how odd these dogs look. when you're done with them. Bum, ba, ba, bum. Here's my odd dog. Odd dog, all finished up. He even smells like bananas. I used a banana scented marker. I would love to see pictures of your odd dog, so please make sure you send them, put them on your portfolio. I want to see how silly these dogs look. Woof, woof.